was going through the region between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered a village, 10 lepers approached him. Keeping their distance, they called out, saying, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." When Jesus saw them, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were made clean. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice. He prostrated himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus asked, "Were not 10 made clean? Where are the other 9? Was none of them found to return and give praise to God except this Samaritan?" Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, go on your way. Your faith has made you well." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Best-selling author Pat Conroy wrote a memoir about the life lessons he learned in his senior year playing basketball at the Citadel. The team wasn't very good, and neither was Conroy. He said of himself, "I was born to be a point guard, but not a good one." The losing season is more than a book about a bad basketball team, but it is also about Conroy's triumph after living with an abusive father. Conroy remembered one Christmas, the Christmas during that season, that he and his team were playing in a tournament that, along with all of his studies, kept him from doing his usual rounds of Christmas shopping. He lucked out when the Tampa Invitational Tournament gave all the participating players 2 gifts: a clock radio and a desk pen set. He wrapped them up carefully and gave the radio to his mom, and he gave the pen set to his dad. While his mother graciously accepted the gift, his dad, noticing the Tampa Invitational plaque on the set, reacted with his usual anger. "El Cheapo rides again," his father said, as he dismissively put the pen set aside. After Christmas, before he was scheduled to go back to the tournament, Pat's mom asked him if he would take out the box of wrapping paper and trash that we all accumulate, but before he dumped it, please go through it and make sure that none of his cousins had accidentally thrown away any of their toys or presents or anything else in there. He did not find anything except the pen and pencil set that he had given to his father. Conroy took the gift and carefully packed it back in his own bag, writing, "To this day, I never asked my father if he threw it away on purpose or out of negligence." All of us who have known abusive, mean-spirited people know the answer. His dad threw it away on purpose. The temptation is to equate Naaman in today's first reading and the 9 lepers in today's gospel with Conroy's father and just dismiss them as ungrateful louts. But I say let's give them some slack. Naaman was on the verge of losing everything he had to a dreaded disease, the same disease that the 9 guys had. A medical dictionary would tell you that Hansen's disease, leprosy, comes in many stages and forms, from moderate to severe. A moderate case would still allow the commander to function, but it was then, as it is now, a degenerative disease that was highly communicable. It would not be long before the valiant officer Naaman would be forced to leave his family and his friends and remove himself from his community. His home would be a leprosy, a sad version of a halfway house where victims banded together in isolated despair. To put it mildly, his future was bleak, as it was for the 10 unfortunates who cried out to Jesus on the edge of town. No matter what their lot or station in life, both Naaman and the 10 lepers knew that something needed to be done. Naaman, with all the power and worldly wisdom behind him, takes a circuitous route to his healing. You have to give him credit, though, because his journey begins by him listening to, of all people, an Israeli servant girl who dares to talk about her faith. There's a sermon in that as well, but not for now. It's a simple sentence with a brilliant idea that sets the master's path toward healing, but at first in a very unwise way. Naaman and his king had absolutely no understanding of God or the servant's girl's faith, and fall back in the tried and true methods that they knew best. Being people of power and knowing that power sometimes can be bought, they try to curry God's favor with what amounts to a payoff. We are told in verses that are left out of today's lectionary that along with a letter of introduction, Naaman started out taking gifts of $20,000 in silver, $60,000 in gold, and 10 suits of clothing. The letter to the king of Israel said, "The man bearing this letter is my servant Naaman. I want you to heal him of his leprosy." There are 2 problems with this approach. The first is that God is not an alderman who can be bribed for favors. And the second is that the letter was written to the wrong person. The letter should have been addressed, but really, who could have guessed this, to a little-known prophet living out in the countryside in a modest house, worth less far than all the goods that Naaman trucked along. Elisha gets wind of the king's overreaction and sends word that he doesn't want riches or even need to see the patient. All the commander must do is go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and he would be made well.